you think? Good. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, August 12th, 2020. And I just dropped Grant off to his mom's, and on the way, or the walk up, realized that he not only put on the wrong shoes, he put on two different shoes, like two different shoes, one on each foot. So he wore his Crocs, but he wore one new Croc, one old Croc. So I'm gonna run home and get his shoes and then run back and drop those back off to him. So today's Wednesday morning. We had that storm, that big storm on Monday, and it's been crazy. So I'm driving through the streets and you can see all the down branches. People dragged them out by the street and stuff. The village that I live in, they typically drive around with a mulcher or a shredder or whatever it's called. I think it's called a mulcher, and they'll mulch and grab all those branches and they'll cut them up or whatever. But yeah, every street, almost every house has stuff out there. It's pretty crazy. But there's still quite a bit of places that don't have power at all. It's kind of weird. So not sure what that's all about. I don't know. It was a freak storm. So my mom was telling me that they're saying that it's got some other name. Every year there's a new storm term that comes out that I'm like, wow, I've never heard that before. But they're calling it a derecho, which they're saying like a tornado is usually only like 100 yards wide. This one was a big storm, and they said it was like 250 miles wide, just cutting a path through the state or whatever, or across the states even. Look at this. We're getting a new walking bridge installed. I hope that they're gonna put that in over the highway, because right now there's no easy way to get across or over the highway. You gotta basically drive on the road with the cars if you want to. So I can't tell if they're gonna do that or not, but that'll be awesome if they can finish that. But yeah, we're having a lot of, just not very far from the house. I don't know if it'll show up, but the power or the stoplights are out. They got stop signs staged out there for everybody. So there's a lot going on, man. Yesterday, I was trading. I'm trying to make another big hit of trades, and we'll see how it goes. But yesterday I bought. So yesterday was kind of more of a down day. I bought some IBIO and some more Workhorse. So Workhorse is more of like an electric car company. Yesterday, Tesla was down quite a bit, and then last night or after the market closed, Tesla made a notification that they're going to do a 5-to-1 or 1-to-5 split. So I think, I could be wrong, but I think that means for every one share of Tesla that you have, they'll give you 5. Usually the value is the same, but they're talking about it being, man, these powered out stoplights are rough, man. Trying to navigate all this stuff, so wow. Rush hour traffic's gonna suck today, man. I hope it's fixed by tomorrow. I'm going in the office tomorrow, Thursday. So I'm going home. I gotta get Grant his stuff, his shoes or whatever, and then I gotta go back to his house. But so like Monday the 10th, IBIO announced that they announced some good news about one of their vaccines, that it's like working the way they want it to, or whatever it is. And I don't know if you guys can see these big branches that are down on the sides of the road. See that? I think that truck up there is the village, probably, with their shredder. But IBIO made this good news announcement, and it was down like 20% or something yesterday. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm going to buy that. And some options, some call options, because why not? They're cheap. So supposedly Russia made an announcement yesterday, or before, maybe Monday night. But Russia said that, oh, we got a working vaccine for COVID. It's not been tested. It's not been anything. So these guys are, it's hammering all of our, all of the U.S. pharmaceutical companies that are working on this stuff. So I'm not quite sure what that's about, but I don't know if you can see there's branches on the right side, but not on the left. So the village, that truck, they're coming through, and they'll do both sides. They're just gonna make their rounds. So, like I said, IBIO died yesterday because of this news from Russia. And I'm like, well, that sounds like a fluke. All IBIO has to do is release another news article, and boom. So, I bought some up pretty cheap. Not a ton. I bought maybe about 20% of my portfolio is IBIO. And I'm looking to dump it pretty quickly. There are options. So, I think I bought one. I gotta look, but I bought some staggered options. So some were expiring in like, what was it? In like a week or two, and then some were expiring after that. I also bought a bunch of options for Workhorse. So Workhorse is way down, and I'm like, dude, like, I not only bought shares of it, but I also bought call options, hoping that it goes up. So we'll see. Options obviously are a lot more volatile and risky, but the thing is trying to multiply my earnings or whatnot. So if I can keep doing my research properly and all that, then I can capitalize off of this. So that's the point. Pre-market today already is looking good for both of those, for Workhorse and IBIO. So we'll kind of see. We'll see how it goes here, I guess. I don't know. But I gotta get in the car, or get Grant's shoes and get back in the car. So yeah. So I think I mentioned it over the weekend. I started getting into reloading. So there's a lot of labor involved with reloading. I mean, that's kind of where you make your money, or save your money, I should say, opposed to buying it over the counter or whatever. So, what pushed me to get into reloading is price of ammo. 223 is now over 50 cents a round. It used to be like 37 cents a round. So the amount of ammo that I got, it's gonna almost pay for most of the reloading stuff. So I mentioned this last week or over the weekend. So what I did over the weekend was I cleaned most of my brass. So I cleaned all the 223 and 308 that I have. The next step is to decap all of it. So decapping is removing the old spent primers. Excuse me. So whenever I get a chance or some more time, that's what I'll be doing, is bolting that down to a bench or something, the press that I bought, and working on decapping. So, and like I said, that's only just one more step. So once that's done, then you can actually start performing the reload process and all of that sort of stuff. But just trying to move it along one step at a time, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So But yeah, so it took me all weekend to wash my brass. So I do have some 22-250 that I need to do, or prep or clean or whatever. It's just I haven't gotten to that point yet, so. And so, and I thinking back, I probably should have got the 22-250 ready, because the what's it called? The primers that I was able to obtain are large rifle primers. And large rifle primers work in 308 and 22-250 does not work for 223. So all the 223 that I reloaded, I washed, I can't reload yet. Small rifle primers are non-existent right now. You can't find them anywhere. Yesterday, I also found out that people are selling Glock lower parts kits for $189. Normally they go for $50 to $60. So I ordered, this is for complete kits, but I went online and ordered individual parts to pick out everything needed for 3 different ones. And yeah. Sorry, just paying attention. I'm at one of those stoplight that's at a stop sign. So yeah, so for 180, 90 bucks or whatever, I was able to get 3 complete Glock 19 lower parts kits, or parts to, make up kits, I guess. And so what I'm gonna do is possibly bag them up as a kit and list them, maybe not for $189, but maybe for double what I paid. I don't know. And if it works or people buy them, then I'll buy more parts and do it again, I guess. I don't know. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. But they are out of stock for 1 or 2 of the little pieces or parts for the Glock 17 kits, or that would comprise a Glock 17 kit. So I don't know. I haven't built a Glock yet, so I've been wanting to. So I don't know too much about them, but we'll see. At least I got 3 sets or whatever, so I can do that whenever. It's always a money thing. Glocks are more expensive, I should say. Glock slides, complete Glock slides are $300-400 bucks. So to build your own or whatever from scratch or whatever, it's still going to be $500-600 bucks. If your slide's $400, just for an OEM bare basic bitch slide, $400 for a slide, $150 for the lower, and then $50-60 for the parts kits or whatever. Then it's, like I said, it's still gonna be like $600 bucks or so total. So I mean, it's not a lot, don't get me wrong, because that's about OEM price or whatever for a serial one. It's just, $600 bucks at a pop is a lot of money, especially if you want to build a few of them or whatever. I don't know, whatever your plans are. So, I think that's about everything. So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but Monday we lost power. Jessica lost power for she was out of power. I had her power off for 7 hours. It was almost bedtime, and I'm like, dude, why don't I bring over a cooler, some ice? And so Grant and I did that. So her power came back on about 2:30. So total time would have been about almost 12 hours that her power was on. But she, the cooler and all that was able to save her food. most of our food and stuff, so that's a good thing. So that's it, guys. I think that caught you up on pretty much everything. The new cabinet is done. It's downstairs. It's completely done, and I couldn't be happier. It's really nice. It's really awesome, and I like it. It's you can't beat custom build for exactly what you want to do. So yeah, so that's that. So well, guys, I gotta go. I'm finally almost back to Grant's house, Grant's mom's house. It's 8 o'clock. It's a little bit after 8 o'clock, so I need to drop these shoes off and get the fuck out. So, but yeah. Alright, guys, so I know I've been talking about this Fortnite thing for quite some time, but it's a pretty remarkable game. So let me give you a little context. So like last week they added the ability to drive cars. So I guess when a season starts, there's like a thing. So like when this season started, I don't know when it started, maybe a month ago or more, like most of the level was underwater, and like as time goes on, the water lowers or recedes, and as the water recedes, it kind of essentially reveals more of the level. So there was like a part called Coral Castle, which was like super deep underwater, and you couldn't get to it before. So now the water's low enough that you can see it all, view it all, and all that. There's like waterfalls that go under, make it go under the ground essentially. So like they added cars because I guess most of the roads are flooded or something like that, so you couldn't really drive anyway. So so now you can drive various vehicles. I mentioned it before, but Grant and I attended a virtual concert within the game. Excuse me. We logged in and hung out in the game in a concert thing. It was crazy. I do have video footage of that. And excuse me. And then what else? So like last week, Grant's like, "Hey, Dad, it's Shark Week." I'm like, "Oh, really? Cool." I'm like, "Wait, how do you know? We don't even have cable TV right now." And he's like, "Oh, he's like, it says it in the game." So in the game, you can like go somewhere or something. There's like a movie screen in the game or something. And I guess you can watch an episode of Shark Week or something. I don't even know. I haven't done it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then, but you know, last night Grant and I were playing. Me, Grant, and his buddy John. And you guys have probably seen John in my vlogs. John's his classmate. You know, he's 8 or whatever, just like Grant is, and you've seen him at school functions and stuff like that where I brought the camera around. But so the three of us were playing, and we were getting like, we got kind of ambushed and we're getting lit up. Grant and I both died, and when you die and you're on a team, you like drop this reboot card, they call it. And there's these reboot vans throughout the level where if you collect these cards, whoever's alive on your team can take those cards to this van and they reboot you. They bring you back to life. So Grant and I both died. John got hit. He had like 10 health or something. But he had some really cool and crazy like boss guns. He had this grappling gun. So it shoots out a grappling hook, and you can like pull yourself and swing around the level like you're Spider-Man. And so you can move around the level really, really quickly. Well, instead of him just basically like dying or whatever, he went through and instead of picking up our reboot cards right away, he grappled across the level, got a med kit, healed himself, grappled back, picked up our reboot cards, grappled back again to the other side of the level, rebooted us, and then he was back in the fight. But I'm like, wow, dude, that was cool. And We got second place in squads, and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that. So, so close, so close. But, yeah, you know, it is what it is. So, we've been having problems at the house with the internet going in and out. So, this morning, Grant got up early to play before he went to his mom's, and the internet was out. So, not quite sure what's going on with that, but I'm not going to complain considering that there's still tons and tons of people that don't have power, let alone internet. So for work, what I'll be doing is tethering my phone to the computer or whatever and just trying to do stuff like that. So there's a guy that's got a broken branch and he's trying to rip it down before the village comes so he can dispose of it. Oh, how did this guy just breaks out a fucking pole saw? Wow. I didn't know that. Huh. He was prepared. He had a pole saw. I don't know what else to say. I'm tired. We're exhausted. I spent almost 5 hours yesterday training that new guy on the backup team. So he's doing good, catches on pretty quickly, and whatever else. He seems to want to troubleshoot a little bit too deeply, especially when there's a lot of problems, instead of just tackling the ones, you know, tackling the problems first and then, you know, figuring out the why later, or post-mortem or whatever they call it. But he's good. His name is Tim. He's out of Eagan, Minnesota. And I think he'll be a good addition to the team and all that. So, yeah. But I'm almost back home again. It's 8:11. So I gotta get logged into work and stuff. And I gotta eat. I still gotta make breakfast and all that. So, well, yeah. Stay tuned for more.